Hello everyone, and welcome to this lesson on High and Dry by Jamie Cullum, originally recorded by Radiohead. My name's Dan, and I'm here to teach you the intro and outro in this video. That much sounds like this. 3, 4. To the verse. We'll talk about the outro in a second. This is the intro. The rest of the sections, verse, chorus, solo, whole song, those are all found at HDpiano.com when you're done here, so head that way after wrapping up. And I have a question before I break this down. So this is a Radiohead cover. Jamie Cullum does a fantastic job with it. I want to know what your favorite Radiohead covered song is. A lot of people love covering Radiohead, so comment below with your favorite. All right. First, we'll look at the intro. A lot of that will translate to the outro. What we're dealing with here is pretty much just 3 chords. We have this E flat open chord. Then the left hand moves to G, giving us E flat over G. Then the left hand moves to A flat, giving us this open A flat chord. And then we just descend on that. Same thing, going down. And that's our main riff in this. And that's going to count for the interludes, the outro. It happens a lot, so let's get this right. It's that, and then down. Again, join me. This is the basic formation. We're going to add a couple things to it, but let's get it right in its simplest form. One more time. Okay, if you can play that much, you're in a great shape. Are arguably done, all right? But we do have a couple nuances in this intro that I want to touch on. The first one being a grace note. So a grace note from D to E flat in the right hand. Try that with me. Try it again. One last time. Okay, so that grace note is something that you're going to see a lot of in this song. The other nuance happens on the second repetition. So here's the first one. Here's the second one. When we land on the E flat, the final E flat of the second repetition, the right hand changes to an F with that B flat. All right, so that's a subtle thing. Again, if you miss it, no big deal. On the third repeat, we have another little nuance. Just this lick that's going to take us right into the fourth time through. It's F, G, F, E flat. With a B flat in the pinky. And here's the fourth time. The fourth time takes us into this, this soloistic, improvised little section right before we start singing, okay? I'll talk about that in a second, but let's see if we can get through the intro with those little variations, those little nuances, right up until the end of the intro, okay? 2, and ready, little slower. 3, 4. Second time. A little change there in the right hand. Third time. There's a lick. Okay, so on the fourth time, which is right where we are, as we finish, 1, 2, 3. That's what happens. All right, it's really this open section that we're sort of just playing rhythmically on these 3 notes. I guess you could say 5 notes. E flat, B flat in the left, and then E flat, B flat, E flat in the right, and we tease this D in once in a while. So it's just this rhythmic, almost percussive part. So say we're finishing the fourth time here. 1, 2, 3. So a lot of it's happening right there on that E flat. That's going to be a recurring pattern in this whole song. Just this E flat acting as sort of a percussive instrument, especially with that riff included. Back to the down to the D and then back up to the E flat, especially with this in the pinky. So again, I'm not gonna harp too much on this specifically. Just wanted to let you know that it's something like this. 3, 4. Verse. All right. So that's mostly the intro right there. The outro takes a bunch of that and then adds a few other things. Here's the outro. So this one is a little bit more varied, but for the most part, I'm going to give you the bass line here. This is what it looks like. So we have E flat to G to A flat in the left hand. Right hand is playing this open fifth. That's how we start the intro, right? And this is where it changes. It keeps going up. A flat to B flat to C. And when we hit that C, the right hand goes to F and B flat. And then the next two measures aren't a repeat like the intro. They're a little different. They look like this. So we have these two notes moving together. The top note stays put here. So we have, and then the final measure is, that's going to get you through this outro pretty well. Everything else is just tiny nuances. I mean, Jamie Cullum's a jazz player. He doesn't play the same thing exactly the same any two times. But here's again the outro. Again. All right. You might see some changes in the left hand, for example, this. Take it down the octave, like that. All right, that's a change you might see. For the most part, though, what I gave you in that baseline version is going to be plenty sufficient. All right, so at this point, we've learned most of the intro, most of the outro. I'd like to just recap it by playing the intro in full at recorded tempo, which is 92 beats per minute, and then we'll play the outro at that same tempo. Okay, so here we go. Beginning, 2, ready, and... verse. All right, and then the outro. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, same tempo. Okay, and that outro actually repeats another time. You get the idea. That is Jamie Cullum's High and Dry, the intro and outro, originally recorded by Radiohead. Those guys are awesome. I believe we have a song or two of theirs in our library. But we have the verse and chorus next, followed by the solo, and then the whole song playthrough. We're going to do that at HDpiano.com. But while I've got you here, let's connect on social media. Okay, on Twitter, We're looking at your requests. We are at HDpiano. The hashtag is HD requests. We see everything that comes through request-wise, and we love it all. A bunch of you Jamie Cullum fans have been requesting his songs for the last year or two, so glad to finally introduce him to the library. And then on Instagram, let's see your performance videos. It's 15 seconds only, so squeeze it in, send it to us, tag us in it, and then we'll repost it for our followers. And then on Facebook, a thumbs up, of course. On YouTube, the subscribe button, click it. That's about it, guys. We're going to learn the verse and chorus next at HDpiano.com. My name is Dan. This is the home of the hybrid piano lesson. We'll see you for part 2.